So, hello and welcome everybody. Another LinkedIn Live with Lean 42. I'm Fabian Keinzinger. I'm working as a chief consultant with Lean 42 for IT management and CRO advisory topics. And today we have a very interesting, very special topic. It's about digital participation. And Michael has joined me today for today's call. And Michael, maybe it's better you introduce yourself. What are you doing?
Hi to all. Hi, Fabian. Thank you very much for the warm welcome. Yes, my name is Michael. I'm working in Munich in the Foundation Stiftung Pfennigparade, South Germany's greatest organization to support people with physical impairments. We have around about 3.5 thousand daycare patients we support, and the foundation has up to 2,500 employees. I'm in the area of work for people with and without disabilities. And in this area, we have a small team working on the questions about is the digital world reachable? So the question I formed is well formed. Reachable means not it's only accessibility. It means is the digital world we produce in a manner that everybody can live in a digital participation. It's a little bit more than accessibility. So we need it because in my world, I'm talking about every second has problem with bad digital solutions because maybe he can't understand the text values we give him and digital processes, like his mother language is not German. We have a part of people with are not firm enough with knowledge about reading, writing, or calculating. We have the big part of the aging population, which maybe are not affine to digital worlds. And at least at all, we have the people in Germany, maybe 10% of the whole country, which have an testate that there are impaired people. So that's in the summary. I would say one of two needs our support. Our support is to understand what are the abilities that somebody can use digital worlds. So the first task is always to understand why should I do this? So digital accessibility is something in Germany which has become law for public sector like since 2000 something. 2019 we have an update of the barrierefreie Information Technology Verordnung. So public sector has to be accessible in the inner and outer view. So the interfaces for persons and for the employees has to be barrier-free, accessible. The same as we have the same questions upcoming next year. It's the European Accessibility Act, which means there's the big questions of business to consumer world has to become accessible. So that's a little bit different to the last one, the Web Accessibility Directive, that was only software. The next European Accessibility Act in some parts includes hardware too. So we have to talk about is a smartphone accessible? Is a smart TV maybe accessible? Is an ebook reader as a physical object? Is it accessible for people with impairments? And that's an interesting part. We will have more rulings about accessibility questions for companies which are working in the business to consumer field. Public sector typically has an informational web page. That's not the main part of e-commerce. E-commerce has process systems. So we have to get an idea, is my landing page accessible for everybody which should become customer on my side? Is the selection process accessible? Is the checkout process accessible? Is the payment process accessible? Is the after-sales communication accessible? So the questions of and which parts and which types we have to ask questions about accessibility is a lot more than we have had the last years. So it's a change. Especially it will become a change if your interface is not typically a desktop PC. So good questions. First time I've gotten point to customer is, did you know how many users will use mobiles? So that helps in the question to understand, is the main focus more mobile first solution of the approval, or is it classical desktop systems? And most customers have 60, 70, 80% of their customer side, which are coming over mobile devices. So we have to ask the question, is the mobile process, is the mobile device usage, is the support for people using mobile devices perfect fit that they can be successful here?
Okay, so
long words.
A lot of yeah. It goes, of course, in the direction of technology and IT, and it's also a little bit switching or moving target from software to hardware. But digital transformation, the digital age is kind of affecting everybody. So I think also digital participation is not only for the software vendors or the hardware vendors, right? It's something also we all, you said, half of the population needs you. So we all need to think about, a little bit care about, right? Yeah, it's not only if a software or hardware vendor.
Yeah, that's one big problem in the moment. We only build solutions. The new solutions always will have a digital interface. Anything we will build. So there's no alternative format. There's no paperback, nothing else. So, and here's the problem. We have a big gap in Germany and in Europe. How many people understand in the process developing digital products from concept over UI, UX, development, quality management to product management, who has enough knowledge to understand the needs of accessibility in digital products. So the whole process doesn't work in the moment because we are lack of people who have the knowledge or enough knowledge to understand. And digital accessibility, sorry, it's not that the blind one can use something. That is only one part of the usage we discuss. So on the left-hand side, we have the problem with lack of knowledge about digital accessibility. On the right-hand side, we are driven by market, by anything else, with the necessary speed to bring digital products on the market. So I've been last week in Berlin on the Smart Country Convention. So it was typically, we have around about 900 different sessions with informations about digitalization, digital products, anything else you can think. But it was less than 5 sessions with had questions or answers about digital accessibility. So everybody says we need it, the law says we need it, but nobody got the key facts. So he can say, yes, I've got it, and I will change my world, how we produce digital products. So we are working still in the same manner. And that is a problem with the exclusion of digital objects. We will exclude people. They are no longer participants of the digital world because they can't use it, they can't reach it, they have no alternative format. Some months ago, I've got a little talk with one of my customers, talking about his weekend. Said, "Oh, it was so hard. My parents, both over 80, I have to explain them how to use online banking." So online banking is a hard stuff for elderly people, especially if they do not have any knowledge about digital worlds. But the banking systems closed down the local stores. So the only manner is how to interact with the world again is about the digital world. So in the digital world, in the banking systems, anybody who has tried to become part of the online banking system, it's a hard process. You need a hard knowledge. You must use different digital interfaces. You have a web page, you have a web login, you maybe have a new app, you have a new account, you have maybe a ton app too. So you can interact with the system. It's very complicated. So it's not easy to use. And that's something we do not have under control to develop products which support the question of digital participation, which have the idea of easy to use, and to support the people. So that's something that will not fix the law too, because we have a gap. The law says you have to be you have to be compliant for rulings in the European norm 301/549. So it's about the information communication technology, about digital services and products, and how to build accessible. You have many success factors in this norm, but the norm doesn't fit the usability. So it's fine if your interface, you can interact with a tab, and you have to pull it 150 times to get to the OK button. So that's conform the norm. But from the usability, user experience, it's catastrophic. We have enough people who can't use 150 times, concentrate the tab to reach the next point. So
I think
that's the gap. That's the gap between user experience, usability against conformance of digital products. So that do not have many people in their mindset. They say, okay, it's usable. I can click, I can tap on it, I can use a mouse. So they say it's fine, but it's not enough. We have to talk about what do we have to do that most people can be successful in using and reaching the new digital worlds.
Yeah, so I think this is an interesting part of it, interesting topic. It's not only about accessibility. So yeah, we already said it's maybe a lot about elderly people, not only the blind people. And even if it's accessible to them, even if they have kind of a smartphone or something, yeah, which they could use, it might be not reachable because, as you said, not everybody is able to follow a complicated process, including several pieces of hardware, desktop computer, smartphone, maybe they have a ton list and so on. And it's just, yeah, it's hard for them, yeah, and or it's even not doable for them, yeah. So yeah, what is up to us? Yeah, what should be done? Or I already said, yeah, it's not about only technology or the product or the software vendors. I think it's a problem which is much wider.
Yeah, I think we need a general mind shifting in all the participations which are working on the building and producing of digital products. So we have to shift left again to understand the focus is the user. It should be a usable product. We have to work on this, and that could be solve many problems if we have the idea from the first moment of we have the idea to develop a new product. If we have it from the first moment in the mind that it should become a product which is part of digital participation, we will produce products which are reachable, usable for many peoples. If that mind shift will happen, we will have a lot of problems afterwards. So I think everybody knows the rules of 10 of fixing problems in the software development process. So later the stage is where you find the problems so much expensive it will become. So I've got an interesting talk last week. They told me, oh, we only produce minimum viable products. So that's the rest should become part of the operational part. So I know they never will produce any products which are accessible. They only have function, because accessibility has to be taught from the first moment, and it's not the functional part. So you know the difference in IT, in software, we can say the functional part is the function of the system, and accessibility is normally announced at the non-functional parts. So nobody will know that there's a problem, because maybe the first users are no blinds, no low vision people, no people with physical impairments who can't use a mouse or anything else. If you can talk with them, so they will check the functionality. Yes, we can start, we go in production, and afterwards they will see, oh, hoppla, we have missed some points. So I think that's a problem. This mind shift to understand, we have to think from the first moment in the developing process of digital products about accessibility. So then we will be able to produce maybe a better digital world, better digital products.
If we look at it maybe from a software vendor perspective and also from a financial perspective, I always wonder if you exclude certain group part, maybe not the majority, but a large group of people from you already mentioned it, e-commerce website or something, doesn't that have a financial impact? Yeah, you lose or exclude a large group of potential customers. Yeah. So companies don't follow that kind of thinking and want to include them, or they don't run the numbers.
Yes, that's right. Many times I start with the questions, did you know the usage of your customer side? Did they use a desktop interface? Did they use mobile interface? Did you know how many people do not have success or are successful on your business process?
Yeah, success rate.
Yeah, so success rate. They most have no idea of the numbers, and then you have no idea how you can talk with the CIO about we need a funding. We have to change the software because we are losing people. So we are starting a discussion on this basics. So they are rich enough that they do not need this. Could be one part of the questions. On the other hand side, I personally can't understand it, because in Germany, the most money you can earn from the customer side is in the age between 50 and 70. So there's the money. So, but it's a generation which is not the typical digital nerd. They do not have in their life all time used smartphones. Yeah, they use them because they have to talk to somebody, they have to phone somebody, but there are no digital users like the younger generations work with the systems. So I think that's a problem. We can't number it out. So US company has to understand what is my customer part and how fit I the questions about their usage. Did they have ideas? So then we can talk again with the CIO and say, okay, that's the business case, that's the money you will lose, and that's the return on invest you can bill against your invests you have to do to become better.
Okay, I think yeah, there are two main areas. What you just said, it's about analyze your process. If you're an e-commerce company, see your selling your shopping cart progress and see who doesn't order at the end, what happens, and you will find probably some other problems, but also accessibility or even understandability problems within your website. And the other thing is look at maybe not your current, but a potential customer base. You already mentioned, the 50 to 70 years old. Why aren't they buying? Maybe I can make them to customers. Can convert them. And what do I need to do them? Maybe I need some investment, some kind of other website, some other app, or some other channel. how they could reach me as a company and could buy from me. Yeah.
Yeah. One other part is to understand. We like to explain often things with difficult words. So we write complex sentences. So we have the part of understanding the people with physical or other disabilities. Another great part is to understand how can I reach the people. The people I can to reach is to present them information they are better to understand in the context of easy reading. Are my pictures, my interaction items, are the text I provide for products, are they ready for easy reading so that people can understand better what I'm offering them? So in the modern systems, it should be easy to implement with all the AI systems in the moment, the possibility to say, okay, I've got your text, I don't understand it, give me a button so I can get an information in easy reading or less easy reading. So maybe I'm a foreigner and I have a literate understanding, or give me the idea I can change the language on the fly for information for your products. This is something I call it beyond alley. It's beyond accessibility. It helps that people are successful in using digital worlds. So we have to think about this part too. It's not only the conformance of products. We have success if we think about the whole structure of our users, so that they can be successful in the as participation of the processes we will offer them.
Yeah, good that you mentioned AI. Quite a big topic nowadays. Besides helping with translation, what do you think? Might AI also help in other fields to make products more accessible, or accessible to a larger group of persons, of people?
The perspective, yes, we have. In the moment state of the art, not yet. So I do not know any development systems or development studios you can use to develop digital products, which supports out-of-the-box digital accessibility. So you have always the single action items like a button, like a checkbox, that could be in the perspective accessible, but the composition of all together in an interface doesn't matter if it's a website or a mobile app, native mobile app. The composition has to be. You need the knowledge to understand how to make a composition which is accessible. That there's no system in the moment that can produce accessible software products. The same question we have all day is we got questions about yes, we like an audit from your side, but we like to have an automated audit. It's not possible. Okay. Yeah, that's it's really necessary to understand. The experts are discussing about 30 to 40% of less than 100 success factors to check in the question of the accessibility of a digital product. So 30 to 40% maybe can automate it. The rest is man-made testing. You have to check manually the digital solution you have. So it's cost intensive. There's potential, I think so. But in the moment, the systems are not so far. They can do the work totally autonomous. So easy to explain why it's so difficult. How should an AI system know what do you have thought as designer, how your interaction path for a customer on your website should be the right path? Or how should they be the right path to fill a formula with 3 or 4 sections of data? So that's something you have to think about it. in the moment, AI systems are have not the base to understand how to test some interfaces. Many other things we can give the automation with or without AI systems. That's not a problem. But here we have in the moment the problem to interact with people, human people, and especially that's the point. You have to make a separation. It's not only one test. You have to check different user accessibility needs. So we typically, as experts team, we always check with the problems of the physical impaired people. We always check the systems with low vision people. Here's the main focus on contrast, text types, fonts, and the zoom. The third part is screen reader users. They use another accessibility technology. And the fourth part is, if implemented and if it exists, maybe the part of audiovisual content. Is there translation in text? So you have a text transcript you can read. So that's the part which makes evaluation in many cases a little bit expensive. So if I talk 1 hour test, we talk about 2.4 hours of people working on the 1 hour test.
Okay. So yeah, still some potential for AI. I think too, AI needs to be trained maybe specifically for that kind of purpose, so that general available AIs are not capable of doing that yet. So that's true, I think. So we still have some minutes left in our talk. So whoever is watching us live via LinkedIn or via YouTube, you can ask questions in the chat, at least via LinkedIn, and we'll see it here. And yeah, maybe one question just to follow up what you just said, how you test systems and tests, and yeah, and also then when you need to design systems, you can already incorporate these questions or ideas. Are there some, yeah, maybe standards, maybe just catalogs, some areas, something as a product guy I could include in my product process and say, okay, this is something when we detail the product, how it is done, is it a website or an app or whatever, we look into these things.
Yes, I think it will be very interesting to let user with accessibility needs participate from the beginning of the digital product development process. Okay. From the first day. So in every stage, you can get feedback from user with accessibility needs that trains the people working on the product development process, and you will get a better product at the end. So not let the people with user accessibility needs start at the end of the process. Let's please start them at the beginning. So your product cycle has more robustness, so that your end product will be accessible. So, and the tip is always, please have different user with different user accessibility needs. Please have one with physical impairments. He has a different usage of systems as people with low vision or people who are screen reader user. So you can't conduct them in one person. That's mostly not possible.
So you say maybe there are some lists and catalogs and things or best practices to do, but your recommendation would be to include somebody or not one person, as you just said, maybe your team, and better already in the early stages to get some input and some feedback, how the product, how the software should look like or should be, so that it's accessible.
Yeah, we have different documentation how to evaluate products on the question of digital accessibility, but that's a time slot we do not have today. So we have different parts. So if I'm printing the guidance we have written this year and last year for the questions how to evaluate a mobile app on a mobile phone, it's printed about 300 pages. So it's not easy. So the problem is not how to get the information. That's easy. The problem mostly is to understand how to interpret the results I get when I test. What is the case for people with disabilities? So that's always the same question we have. How do we can get knowledge to people working in these areas to understand how to produce good digital products which are accessible for most of the users? So we have problems in the teaching area. So the studies are not so broad that we have enough information on universities, same as in other areas of education.
So we have a comment. It's from Amy from Florida, as far as I know. She confirmed two things we just talked about. The first thing is, timing is critical. Involve people early in the product development process to get an inclusive design. And she also said, if you do the calculation and run the numbers and demonstrate to the C-level what users are excluded by a certain solution or a certain state of a software or a solution, and what could be improved for what budget, and what would be the benefit of it. Her experience was that she often got the approval to do that and to grow the business then. So I think that supports two of your arguments, two of your insights, Michael.
Thank you very much,
Amy. Thanks for that. So I think we come to an end now. It's 30 minutes. Thanks for everybody for joining us. And Michael,
You can find me on LinkedIn. So sorry, we are LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. You're searching me. I'm there.
If you have any ideas, any questions, just contact Michael directly. Michael Düren, with Stiftung Fanny Parade. I think everybody will find it. So thanks everybody for tuning in. For listening to us.
Thanks you for Lean 42 to be here hosted today. Thank you very much. Nice medium. And everybody have a nice afternoon.